Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Tuesday, June the 21st. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading. Ways to use range, part 2. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Yesterday, we talked about using range as a way to come up with some trading methods. Looking to see when price may reverse or where price may go to. And there's a couple more ways to use range along those lines. Let's see, where did I put the chart? Here we go. I wrote an indicator a long time ago. Let's see, this is actually, I guess I modified it in 2021, but it's an oldie but goodie. TRO ATR lines high low, and what this indicator does is it computes the ATR that you give it. Let me go back into the inputs, and so you tell it starting with ATR 12, ending with ATR 120, and then it looks for the min and max, and then it creates zones based on those min and max ATRs for the whatever time period you give it, or ATR period you give it. And what usually happens is price will usually hit one of these ATRs. It'll usually enter the box. Let's see, I think what I usually do is I'll usually set up a daily. So ATR period 1 day. And then this is the target. I'm sure you've probably seen this before. And so what we do is from the current daily high, we'll come down to the ATR. So the minimum was at 120, the max was at 12. And so we're looking to target this area for shorts, this area is for longs. And it seems to work pretty well. And that's another way. So in other words, rather than trying to find some magic number like ATR 14 or ATR 5, I just said, let's let the computer do the work. It can calculate minimum and maximums, real easy. It just basically loops through and then says, hey, is this the highest? Is this the lowest? And then you get this zone. And so you can see here, we got within what, 25, 26 pips of this zone. And you see we broke out of yesterday's high, and so this is a target. Now, it may or may not reach it, but because what we're doing is we're saying we're looking at that daily low, and there's the ATR. So maybe it's going to range for a while. Maybe it does hit it eventually. Can't say for sure. And then one of the other things, if I remember correctly, is it in this one? No, it's not in this particular indicator. I think in the other ATR lines from the open, somebody had asked me to put in they wanted to have 50%, so I just made that an input where you can make it 50% or 33% or 67 or whatever you want. I try not to hard code constants like that unless it's a constant that needs to stay constant. I try to make the indicators flexible for the users. And which, by the way, I don't sell indicators. Somebody said something out there on YouTube. If I could do something, they'd be my first customer. No, don't sell code. You know, some people say, well, you ask for donations. I go, no, I don't ask for donations, but if somebody donates, there's indicators that I send them as a thank you. But that's off the topic. So once again, using these ATR ranges works pretty well. What you can do is you could bring it down to, say, maybe the 4-hour range, and then you can look. And put it on a, say, a 1-hour chart. And you can see where you had an H4 high here. And then once again, here's where you're looking for that range. So you can see here that it actually hit back here, but this is starting with the current H4 candle. And if you're looking for scalps, you can always use a maybe a 1-hour. So for this hour, you can see where the targets are. And we're not that far. We didn't, we only missed that target by about 4 pips. So once again, what this is doing, it's giving you an estimate of where price could go based on the ATRs, the average true range. So in other words, measuring the range from the low to the high. Well, here's where the average is. This is the minimum over the last, what was it, 120 some bars. I forget what those inputs were, but you can see here just how close it got. And it's looks like it's trying to hit it again. So let's run through the charts and see just what the pound is up to. So we're still in the wick of last month, the lower wick zone. Looks like we're going to be in there for a while. 321 off the open, 338 off the high, 345 off of that low for the month. Weekly, we're 60 pips above the open right now, 44 off the high, 81 off the low, and we still haven't hit that pivot. We're right here at the edge of the opening range for the week. You can see we broke through it once already by about, 40 some pips. So that would have been a very nice trade for the opening range traders. For the year, we are, oh, I'm on M1. Why am I on M1? We are 1,248 pips below The yearly open now back to 48. Inside bar yesterday, you see we had a nice breakout off of that high. So you inside bar traders were rewarded. And for some strange reason, it's only showing 2 instruments there. I must have something goofy in my market profile. That's really strange. Range, we've got the yen over 141 pips. In fact, the yen really went crazy overnight. Oh, there we go. You can see right there, yen 141 pips, broke out yesterday's high and kept going. Buy zone traders were rewarded. And you can see here, price came back down, hit the launch pad. Unfortunately, I was asleep, and then it took off. Rats, red rats and green rats, lots of cheese. Right now, we're about right in the middle of the rat zone. With a range of 83, that's definitely large enough. Bambino Flex said to go short. Price near R1 bias is short. Well, that worked after it hit R2. So if it's saying the bias is short at R1, then definitely the bias would be short at the R2 and above. We've taken out the pivot for today. We didn't quite hit the pivot. Looks like we missed it by 14 pips on the weekly, and the monthly we've taken it out. Upper wick zone trades, you can see in and out. We're just jumping out once again here at 22, call it 2280. I really hate that 5th digit. Okay, on the higher low, lower high, you can see there was a trigger. And then if you didn't take it, the market's taking it right back away from you. Here off the lower high, we had a trigger, which was nice, but once again, it came all the way, almost all the way back down. So just goes to show sometimes you have to take those quick trades, take those little 2 to 5 pip trades when the market gives it to you. Then again, if your style is more long-term, some people call it noise, but hey, you know what? Noise is what makes up the market, those little moves. And here again, showing that ATR range. And this is so weird. Why? And as you can see here on the daily, the dollar yen is in that ATR range. It came in once and pulled out. So looking for price maybe to come back down. There's a lot of return bars happening. So fellow traders, that's just a few more ways to use range. Using it as targets, once again, identifying potential reversal areas because it's not what you trade it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.